A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green.
Welcome into the Sportsocracy. I'm Tank Spencer. Jeremy Green is here as well at the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. Be sure, if you haven't already, like it, share it, and follow it. We are live from the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. Today is a very odd day.
It's a weird day for us.
It's a very somber day. Obviously, with a year ago today, the passing of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, Sarah and Peyton Chester, Christina Mauser, John Altobelli, Carrie Altobelli, and their daughter Alyssa Altobelli, when their helicopter crashed in Calabasas, California. I don't think there's nobody who doesn't remember where they were. I mean, this is like a benchmark moment for a really weird year.
It started the most god-awful year in the history of creation. It was also the day before we started this whole little venture. Mm-hmm. So for us, this is like the 1 year mark, and all of the happy day, not a happy day.
Right. It's all of the emotions wrapped into one of, and I think that's just how it's always going to be for me. You know, when we came on the air on January 27th last year and launched the Sports Tank with Jeremy Green on ESPN Asheville, you know, it was an exciting day for us, launching a daily sports talk show, you know, fulfilling a dream, and here we have to do it on the day after we had the most tragic news of most of our lives, sports lives anyway. Losing somebody like Kobe Bryant is something you never expected to happen. And then, looking back on it, I will always remember Kobe Bryant's passing as the kickoff to the worst, scariest, most exciting year of my life. Launching a business with your best friend is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do, one of the scariest steps I've ever taken in my life. And I said on that day that we will do our best to live and do our shows and everything that we do by the Mamba mentality. And I think a year later, looking back on what has happened with the growth of our show, living through 3 months without sports, launching the web show, landing corporate sponsors, we've got a lot to look back on 2020 and say this was an exciting year. But it was also one of the most trying for all of mankind.
The fact that we survived through this, we could survive through anything.
Right.
I mean, this was the most... You could not have timed this any more poorly if we had tried.
Mm-hmm.
We had to break into a new show with openings and all kinds of things that nobody had ever heard before. And start with one of the saddest stories I've ever heard in sports or outside of sports.
Right.
And it just started. It started a year, and it's been a year, and we're greatly looking forward to year two.
Gosh Almighty, what can year two possibly bring us that we didn't see in year one? But I mean, what can you say about Kobe Bryant? I mean, the man was a legend, and will forever be one of the greatest legends in NBA history. And, today my heart aches for Vanessa Bryant and her two surviving daughters with, I was reading earlier today, and I'm not going to read it on here, but, she shared out on Instagram a letter written by one of Gianna's best friends talking about how much she misses her. And I think that's something that we need to remember when we talk about Kobe and the legacy and how much we're going to miss him as sports fans. Remember that there's still a family that's hurting today, a year since their life was completely destroyed, with father and daughter dying together in a plane crash going to a basketball game. That's the other thing that will always get me about the Kobe Bryant thing, because you knock it down to bare bolts. This was a dad trying to take his daughter to her basketball game.
Yep.
And it's one of the saddest stories that you will ever hear in sports. But we'll obviously be taking all the comments, the Kobe comments, throughout the program today. If you've got a Kobe story to share, we will share it as well here on the air. And we'll do our best not to get mired down in all of the sadness that hangs over us today, because it does, and we all feel it. Whether we're, I said at the time of his passing, I never was a big Kobe Bryant fan, but I always respected the game.
I grew up a Lakers fan. I was a Shaq guy. I was the biggest kid in my class. I followed Shaq from the Magic to the Lakers, and the Kobe love came with that. I mean, for the love of God, my dog's name is Mamba. So obviously, tough day, but we will try to do our best to bring a little levity and do what we do.
Patrick Holt said, I was doing my DJ radio show on Sunday, and my son came in and told me, and I was like, no way. Literally checked TMZ to confirm and immediately stopped my show. It's hard to go on. It's hard to do a show when you've got all of these emotions going, and it makes you immediately think of, at least for me anyway, how I would personally connect to that story. And I could not imagine something happening to my wife and one of my sons. I'm at a baseball game with Joseph, and Joshua and Andy are off somewhere else, and something, God forbid, happens, how I would connect in that moment. And my heart breaks so much for Vanessa Bryant, and she has been extremely strong through all of this, with the media scrutiny and the legal stuff that has gone on surrounding this, and the fight with the pilot or over the pilot, whether or not he did the wrong thing and all of that. I mean, it's been a hell of a year for all of us, but especially for the Bryant family. All right, let's talk some football. The Baltimore Ravens are going to tie themselves long-term to Lamar Jackson. GM Eric DeCosta has come out and said that Lamar Jackson deserves a long contract, and he plans on having him in Baltimore for many, I think he used many years. That's a lot. And I don't think it's the right move.
You already know how I feel about it.
Right.
I've been pretty clear about it.
You don't go out and invest many years in a quarterback that you don't know how long he's going to be on the field. The more I've thought about this and what their path forward could be, I would almost rather, instead of tying him up long term, just keep franchising him and see where it goes. Just go year by year. I know you may end up paying, you're not going to end up paying more doing it that way than you would in the long run, giving him a contract that's going to look bad in 5 or 6 years.
I think no matter what you do with a Lamar Jackson contract, it's going to look bad down the line. Lamar Jackson's a quarterback that's going to age like milk, and that's just all there is to it. Mm-hmm. He does not have the ability to play any way but being hyper athletic. Here's the thing: Father Time's undefeated, and when you rely exclusively on your legs, you're going to age poorly. Mm-hmm. I'm with Stephen Tao, who is a Ravens fan. I wouldn't do more than 4. I wouldn't. I wouldn't touch him for more than 4 years. And if it gets into that $40 million range, I'm out. Mm-hmm. I'm out, and I don't even want to think about it, really.
It's going to be, though.
I don't think it will.
Really?
I don't.
I think the market is, what the market other quarterbacks are getting, he's going to get somewhere in that neighborhood.
I don't think he is, because he's a different quarterback.
Pat Mahomes.
He's not in the same ballpark of Pat Mahomes.
Oh, I get it. But what I'm saying is the trend where it's going, all of these quarterbacks are going to want $40 million a year.
Well, I want a bigger wiener in a sports car, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get that.
No, but that's the thing. They can demand it. Like Patrick Mahomes set the market. And you're not going to get a Patrick Mahomes deal. There's no way you can go to your team and say, I want more money than Patrick Mahomes. But that's the benchmark. If Patrick's getting 50, then Deshaun's going to want 45, and Dak's going to want 45, and Lamar will probably get 40. I mean, didn't they give $40 million to Kirk Cousins?
Kurt's had some very highly paid years,
Right,
but it was 30 and some change.
Okay, if you're going to pay 30 and some change, then I think Lamar Jackson compared to Kirk Cousins is worth 40 a year in the short term.
Well, and the cap number is also a little different.
True.
They manipulated that deal. I mean, in terms of 2020, the Minnesota Vikings will spend $40 million in cash on Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
His cap number is $21 million. So there's a big difference in that. How much Ziggy Wilf pays to Kirk Cousins doesn't mean shit. I mean, the man's worth like $6 billion.
Okay.
I think he's okay. The question is, how low can you keep the cap number? And I'm looking at the down the line. All right, so you start in 2021. You got Ben Roethlisberger, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, and Drew Brees that are all over $35 million. Who feels good about that? What team feels good that they're paying that much money to any of the quarterbacks I just said?
Right.
There you go. I've been very clear about this. If you're not an elite quarterback, and when I say elite, I mean elite.
Like having MVP.
I could give a fuck less about your MVP. Cam Newton won an MVP. I could care less about that. Your stupid individual awards don't mean squat to me.
Okay.
What I'm looking at is, all right, let's go to 2022. Kirk Cousins' cap number is $45 million. Matt Ryan's is 41. Deshaun Watson's is 40. Aaron Rodgers is 40. Russell Wilson's 37. Ryan Tannehill's 34. Jared Goff's 33. Who feels good about that? How many of the teams I just said feel good about the number that they're paying their quarterback? I'm looking at Deshaun Watson too. Just let that be known.
Okay.
Because they're looking at a $40 million deal that, okay, let's say they trade him and get 3 ones out of it. They're still on the hook for $10 million without a year. I am not a fan of the big extension unless it's Pat Mahomes, Russell Wilson, the best of the best of the best. And I look at Lamar Jackson, and I'm telling you, and I mean this from the depths of my soul. If I'm Eric DeCosta, I would look at Lamar Jackson and go, I'm going to franchise you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
That would be my path. That would be that's how I've squared this. I'm just going to keep him on 1-year deals until he breaks, because it's going to be the safest thing that I can do as a franchise.
Well, and you can't do that forever. It's 2 years stopgap.
Right. But it doesn't come up until year after next. Right?
Let's see. No, this is his option year. The upcoming year is his option year.
Okay, so you
Because
pick
he's
up
on the same. Is that right? No. You're right. The option year is next year. They have to decide on the option this year.
Right. So you option him for next year, then you franchise him for the next year, then you can franchise him again for the next year. Now you're going to be paying that percentage of the top salary, but at that point he's probably still worth it. And then after the second franchising, that's 4 years from now. That's the 4-year deal we're talking about. Now, unless you can sign him for a 4-year deal that averages out under what you're going to spend on 2 franchise tags, it's not worth it. You just pick up his option for next year. How much is that?
Let's see. He's back in the first round, so it'll be $15 million.
Okay, so $15 million.
He was a first rounder, so he's not in the top 10, which means it's not an average. It's probably going to be somewhere in that 15-ish range.
Okay,
and they're going to pick that up. There's no doubt about that.
The first go-around with the franchise tag will be 30.
No.
Will it be that high?
No, it'll be higher than that.
Okay.
The first franchise tag year would be 2022, which will be the average of the 5 highest at the position.
Right.
Which will put him about 40.
About
You're in that 40
million.
million range.
Well, there you go.
Here's the thing. I'm going to say the same thing about Lamar Jackson that I've routinely said about Baker Mayfield. Look at how good Lamar Jackson is right now. And understand this is on a rookie deal. Do you think the talent around him is going to get better when he's making $40 million a year?
No.
No. How many quarterbacks have less talent around them and get better? Not often. You've seen the best of Baker Mayfield. You mark my words. I feel the exact same way about Lamar Jackson. I understand he doesn't have any weapons. He's got a defense that is his weapon. He's got running backs that are his weapon. And this is not, this is probably the best run organization in the NFL. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn with that. The Baltimore Ravens are probably the best run organization in the NFL. And I just don't see them making mistakes. I don't see Eric DeCosta and John Harbaugh and what little influence Ozzie Newsome still has. They don't give bad contracts to guys. They don't. So do I see a path that they work something out with Lamar where he gets a shitload of guaranteed money? Maybe. And you take the risk. You take the risk that nothing like what happened to Michael Vick happens to Lamar Jackson. I'm not talking about fighting dogs. I'm talking about what happened to his leg.
Right. I think we knew. I think we.
You'd be surprised. I've
Really?
said that same thing before, and people immediately fire back with, "Do you think Lamar Jackson would find out?" No, I don't. You moron. That's not what I was talking about.
Damn it.
Okay.
I was
My
talking
bad.
about when Michael
My
Vick's
bad.
leg turned the wrong direction and was facing that way, and he was facing that way,
Right.
which is frightening with a quarterback that lives predominantly on his legs.
And I don't disagree with the comment that was made earlier that Lamar Jackson is Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Lamar Jackson's better than Cam Newton, markedly better than Cam Newton.
But I mean, his career trajectory is probably the same.
Oh, I don't
It's
see.
gonna be
I don't
the-
see Lamar Jackson being a 33-year-old quarterback that can't complete a pass 5 yards downfield. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Lamar Jackson will be the worst quarterback that I have ever seen starting for an NFL team.
Oh, come on, man. He's going to be the starting quarterback for the Washington football team next year.
Oh God, I'm glad you said that. I've heard. I have heard a thing
Oh, God.
about the Washington football team and their next quarterback.
Okay.
It's going to be Matthew Stafford.
As-
It's going to be Matthew Stafford.
Damn right. As well it should be.
And I'm not going to lie, I don't hate it.
I like that move.
There are two places that make infinite sense to me with Matthew Stafford, and I've now heard both in a 24-hour period: the Indianapolis Colts and the Washington football team.
Yeah.
And that makes Patrick Holden. How are you upset about that? It's that or Taylor Heineke.
You should be happy with that result. It's
Matthew
the best,
Stafford
it's the best
is the
thing you
best
can
thing
do.
that could happen to you.
Thank you.
He said, "Wowie, wawa."
There we go. I would love to have Stafford. That's,
Okay.
There
All
we
right.
go.
All
All
right.
right. I thought you were pissed off about Matt Stafford. Like, okay, how do we please you? All right. I'm going to start calling you my ex-wife. You're just really hard to friggin' please.
Stafford to the Redskins makes them awesome
Yes.
immediately.
Well, here's the thing. Here's who it makes better. It makes Terry McLaurin better immediately. It makes Antonio Gibson more dangerous immediately. I would love that move. And I'll be honest with you. Yesterday, my 2021 Chase Claypool team came out. It's officially been renamed after one of my greatest hits in the history of the list.
That didn't take long.
I've been doing the list for 8 years, so it took a pretty good while.
No, I'm saying it didn't take long for you to rename it after a guy that came out last year.
Secret time is the third time I've renamed it.
Who was it before?
Oh God, Juju Smith-Schuster. It was funny thing. It's been two Steelers, and I don't remember the other one. Juju Smith-Schuster was one of the best ones.
Yeah.
I said I would take Juju Smith-Schuster in the top 15.
Was it Martavis Bryant?
No, I'll go back and look. I can't remember. There was another one, and I'll be honest with you. It was a guy who was great as a rookie, and then sucked a lot, and I changed it back. The original name of this list is the 6 to Midnight list, or the 6 to Midnight team. That's what I've called it for the last several years. But it is for this year. It will be the Chase Claypool 2021 fighting Jeremy Greens.
Okay.
That list is on our it's on our socials. It's on Twitter. It's on all of the things.
Yep.
There's a lot of Tar Heels on it.
Huh?
There's a lot of Tar
I did
Heels on it.
notice that.
There are a lot of Tar Heels on it. And by a lot, I mean 3. There's only 22, there's only 22 players on the team, so it's not like I had 9 of them. But the gist of the list is these are guys that I am much higher on than the rest of the scouting community. Here's the problem. At quarterback, I had to go Zach Wilson because there's not another one. Trust me, I tried. I wanted to be Brock Purdy, but he went back to Iowa State.
Yeah.
I'm also friends with Brock Purdy's sister on all the social media, so I'm a little biased towards Brock Purdy.
He just found that yesterday.
I didn't find that. I knew that.
Oh. Well, you just asked me about it yesterday. Have you seen Brock Purdy's sister?
No. She friended me on Instagram, or I don't know how any of that works. Their little brother plays at Florida State. I am a well-known Florida State fan. So
Yeah.
that's how these things happen.
Gotcha.
It's also subjected me to watching a lot of stories that consist of Brock Purdy playing, and I've found a pretty a little sweet spot with him that I like him pretty good. By the way, he'll be a first-round pick next year.
Really?
Heard it here first.
Really?
I said it. I said it. And I meant it.
All right. It will be a pretty weak class next year, so.
Well, it's Sam Howell, and
Yeah.
it gets very Keaton Slovisy very quick. If you need a quarterback, I recommend doing it this year.
Well,
Or be god awful.
I mean, there's quite a bit of buzz around him.
Keaton Slovis or shouldn't be?
He's no.
There shouldn't be.
No.
And just wait. Yeah, one of his receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's on the Chase Claypool team. You know what happens to quarterbacks who lose all their receivers? They don't tend to look as good. Talk to me about Keaton Slovis in a year.
Wait, isn't there another one? Doesn't he have another St. Brown behind him?
Yeah, but he's young. He's like I want to say he's a freshman.
Okay.
I mean, he'll get a little run, but not. I mean, you're losing 2 draftable wide receivers.
Or did he go to USC? Did the other one go to USC? I don't
One
know.
of them went. Equinemius went to Notre Dame.
Equinemius went to Notre Dame. I was thinking there's a possibility that the third kid behind him was not going to USC, but I have no idea. I don't know. But
I think he went to USC. I'm reasonably confident of that, but I also think he's a freshman.
I think Matt Stafford to the Washington football team is one move that makes a whole lot of sense because this is a team that has the ability to compete now.
Yeah.
You've got young weapons. You've got a defense that nobody else in the NFL can match. I mean, you put another year of experience under their belts, and Jesus, imagine where that pass rush will be with Chase Young and Montez Sweat and what's his name, Payne in the middle.
Not Cameron.
No,
Cameron Payne's
Dayron
a guard
or
for the damn
Dayron or
Dayron Payne.
Dayron Payne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cameron Payne's
I like
a guard
this a
for
lot.
the Thunder.
Yeah.
Or somebody. Cameron Payne plays for somebody.
He did play.
He's played for like 19 NBA teams.
He did play for the Thunder and the G League team as well, I believe.
I think Cameron Payne has actually played for every NBA team.
It's amazing to me that we are at this point in the NFL.
I remember now where Cameron Payne plays. And I remember now why I just thought of that. He's a Phoenix Sun. I've used him on DraftKings a couple times.
Gotcha. Looking forward to what's going to happen in this offseason. There's so much talk about movement amongst quarterbacks. And
Crazy.
yeah, and yesterday Adam Schefter saying that the line on quarterback movement in the NFL is 18. And he would take the over.
I would take the under aggressive.
That more than 18 teams could possibly be changing quarterbacks for 2021. And that is insanity to me. I guess just
I don't
because
think it can
for the
be
first
that
time we're not in that discussion.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, Tampa's not in the discussion of should they change quarterbacks.
Hey,
I
my
think
team
we're all-
is because we live here.
Nice. Yeah. Finesse.
I'm gonna miss that bell for during my vacation.
I don't know that we're gonna miss you ringing it. I really don't. You knew that was coming.
I wish I could have made it go dick as I hit it, but I couldn't.
Nice. Baltimore Ravens, they're going to commit to Lamar Jackson long term. Well, depending on what this number is, it could be a smart move to tie him up for 4 years if you think you can get him at a bargain rather than going the path that I was talking about with taking him year by year. That's just how I would do it. But there again, you also have to think, is it a good thing for Lamar Jackson, for any quarterback, especially a young quarterback, to be going through this, are they going to pick me up next year? So it's probably better to sew him up long term.
Well,
so
I mean,
you don't
Lamar
have the
Jackson's
uncertainty.
he's going to want the comfortability. Because this is a guy that knows every game could be, it could all go bad.
Yep.
It could all go badly. I'm not committing $35 million a year to a quarterback I don't think can win me a Super Bowl, and I don't think Lamar Jackson can.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, really be honest with yourself. Look at the quarterbacks and take out the Father Time NFC Final 3.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the quarterbacks that were competing for spots in the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes is 25. Josh Allen's 24.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield's 25. You know what they all have in common? You know what every quarterback in the AFC had in common?
What?
They were all on rookie deals. All of them.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. The final 4 AFC quarterbacks were all on rookie deals.
Mm-hmm.
That's not an accident. You could either have the grizzled old veteran like Brady, Breeze, Rodgers, or you have a quarterback on a rookie deal that allows you to have a ton of weapons around him.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be really honest. Those rookie deal quarterbacks are going to regress when they start losing weapons.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen this before.
I just
done it before.
I just still kind of find a flaw in that thinking of, unless I believe a guy can win me a Super Bowl, I'm not going to give him a contract. Because you look at the league right now, how many guys in the league right now are going to win Super Bowls? You think of the 32 starting quarterbacks this coming year in the NFL, how many of them are going to be able to win a Super Bowl? There's going to be like 6 of them.
You're probably too high on 6. Brady, Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes. And it gets to whistle time real quick.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. But then that means unless you have one of those 6 guys, you're never going to enter into a long-term contract with that guy. And that's just not feasible.
What do you mean it's not?
Because you have to, if a guy can make you competitive.
I don't want to be competitive. I want to be good. I want to be a Super Bowl caliber.
Mm-hmm.
And the Baltimore Ravens with Lamar Jackson are not. They're not. They're not. They're not. They're not. How many have you made? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You keep losing in the playoffs. Why?
Right. Because
you're one-dimensional. Same reason the Buffalo Bills lost to Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I have no interest in being that. I don't want to be the Philadelphia Eagles with Donovan McNabb. I don't.
Right.
I don't want to go to 4 NFC Championship games in a row and lose.
5.
I would. Was it 5?
5, yeah.
They went to 5 in a row?
Yeah.
Who?
Philadelphia.
God, I thought it was 4. By the way, there have been 2 teams that have done that have. There have been 2 teams in the last 25 years that have gone to 3 championship games in a row. Care to name who they are? Obviously, the Eagles are one. I just said it.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City Chiefs are the other. You know what they both have in common? They're both coached by Andy Reid. Andy Reid's the only coach that's gone to 3 consecutive conference championship games the last 25 years.
Nice.
It's a fun little stat. I like stats.
Not even Tom.
Patriots had to though.
Patriots had to have in that stretch. To championship games?
Maybe it was in the last 10 years.
Maybe.
No, but they've
No,
gone. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Something's off of that.
I would have to think that New England would be in that.
Where's that boy?
Right, Stat Boy, look it up.
Maybe it was outside of New England because New England's done it twice that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Okay,
That might have been outside of New England.
all right. And they've both been Andy Reid teams. It's still a very
Still quite
good track
impressive.
record. Right, exactly. Oh man,
It's
the
prime.
turnover this year is going to be absolutely insane.
The turnover this year is going to be nuts. I mean, let's be really honest. How many teams do you definitively know who their quarterback's going to be? Definitively.
How many teams do I know definitively who their quarterback is going
Uh-huh.
to be?
How many teams would you bet your house you know who their quarterback's going to be? It's way less than you think it is.
I don't know. I was going to say maybe 8 or 9.
Joe Burrow.
I mean, obviously
Obviously
Buffalo.
Josh Allen's one.
Yeah.
Right.
Lamar Jackson's one.
Right.
Joe Burrow's one.
Yep. Baker Mayfield's one.
Baker Mayfield's one.
You got to skip Pittsburgh.
Jacksonville. I know Trevor Lawrence was the
Jacksonville,
quarterback
yeah.
in Jacksonville.
Tennessee.
Ryan Tannehill. Mahomes. Herbert with the Chargers. That's 8 in the AFC. The NFC is a little bit more unstable.
Oh, you got the Dallas Cowboys.
You don't know. I wouldn't bet my house on it.
Uh,
I ain't no way in hell I'd bet my house on it. It's going to be
close.
40 some odd $million, and that's if you do it on a franchise tag.
I'd be damn close. I'd be damn close to putting
I
my
ain't
house
betting my
on
house
like
on it.
the
I'll be
Dak
honest with you. I
Prescott.
wouldn't bet my house on Daniel Jones either.
Me.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
I would.
Damn it.
Philadelphia, I'd be close. Carson Wentz.
I wouldn't.
You think there's a deal going to be made there?
There could be. Look. I'm talking about definitively. There is no other path.
Okay, Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers.
Yep. Maybe.
No, I wouldn't bet my house
You
on it.
wouldn't bet your house on it. Okay, Minnesota. Kirk Cousins.
Wouldn't bet my house on it. They can get out of that deal reasonably conveniently.
The Atlanta Falcons.
Matt Ryan starting this.
Matt
I don't
Ryan's
see
gonna be
any
their
way-
guy.
I don't see any way they're getting out of that.
Carolina Panthers.
No. I'd be less likely to put it on Carolina than I would be Dallas. Because I could see a path where they swing a deal for something or ship Teddy Bridgewater out of town and draft a quarterback. Those are very likely possibilities for
Yeah.
Carolina. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I would be pretty close to making that deal that it's going to be Teddy Bridgewater next year.
Yeah.
Because even if they draft a quarterback, they're not going to start him immediately. They'll draft Trey Lance, like Jeremy said in his first mock draft, and
Still all in on that, by the way.
you're still all in on Trey Lance to Carolina. That's
Still
fine.
all in on that.
That's fine. I'm with you. It makes sense.
There are a lot of
Quarterback
things
now
in this
and use
draft
Teddy
that
as
I
the
can't
bridge.
get away from. There's just a few things in this draft I cannot stray away from.
We know Tampa Bay is not going to move on from Tom Brady. We know Kyler Murray's going to be in Arizona. We know Goff's not going anywhere, and we know Russ isn't going anywhere. Goff's not going anywhere.
Goff's not
they
going
can't
anywhere.
send him anywhere. Nobody.
First of all,
pick
who
him
would
up.
pay him? Second
Right.
of all, the dead cap hit would destroy you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, frankly, I'm more confident on Jared Goff than I am on damn near any quarterback in the league.
Right.
But that's kind of my point. Is that you tie yourself to these mediocre quarterbacks. Do you really think Jared Goff could ever win them a Super Bowl? I mean, look at the talent around him. You have two of the three best defensive players in the league.
I mean, I think he could.
I don't.
I mean, he's already
I
gotten
don't.
them there once.
And did he win?
No.
Okay. I don't really give a damn how many times you get there, Jim Kelly.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bills.
Oh.
Oh, and all the Bills fans that loved me went, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and the
You just
Mafia
ruined
just
it.
And they all turned on me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really not looking forward to going through that table. The one high watermark of the fact that Buffalo lost is that I don't have to go through a table, and I am not unhappy about that.
It's the saddest part of this whole thing is that you don't have to go through a table.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it. Because here's what we didn't think about.
Yeah.
Out here in the Wicked Weed Studios, there's a lot of concrete. There's not a lot of grass. There's not a lot of soft places for me to land.
Well, this is something we could have done at the studio. We could have gone out to the ranch and gave you some grass to fall on.
Yeah, it would still be like a cow pasture, and it still would hurt, and I don't want to. Plus, that would allow more people to see it, which I'm not a big fan of. Because there is a path where I would have gotten Undertaker through that table, and I would not have gotten up in any kind of quickness.
Oh, this would not have been just, you and I alone.
Was it a
We were
choke
going to have a crowd here. We were going to get Bills fans to come and chant.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Chief
going
of
to
Police
be-
was already in.
It had the possibility of becoming a Tom Segura break yourself in half moment.
Break yourself, fool.
And I was looking really forward to it, honestly. You go, if you get hurt, it's your own damn fault. They taught you how to fall in wrestling school, didn't they?
They did. I know how to fall.
There you go.
Unfortunately, it still hurts. That's what they don't tell you.
Of course it does.
Yeah, that's what they don't tell you. This shit still hurts. Oh, it's fake. Okay.
You had to have known it was going to hurt. Or did you not?
Yeah, but I
did
thought
you think
they-
it was like falling on pillows or
Yeah, I
something?
thought they taught you how to fall, and
I mean, they do teach you how to fall.
They do. But the first time your head bounces off that thing, you're like, "Oh my god, that's just a wooden plank."
And guess what?
You're basically falling on wooden pallets
Yeah.
that have a little canvas stretched over them. It's not good. I'll tell you another thing that hurts way worse than they would tell you it does. Turnbuckles. That turnbuckle sucks a lot. That little padding, that's all well and sweet, but by God, if you hit that not directly on that pad, it hurts like hell. My 7-minute soiree into trying to be a pro wrestler. Didn't go my way.
I have to know though. Like, was it like you took like 3 falls and then went, "I'm out," or did they kick you out?
No, they booted me. Yeah, they booted me. You want to know the exact terminology that I heard?
Yeah.
You act like you're way bigger than you are. There have been very few times in my life I've looked around.
That's what
and-
she said.
My wife was in her office just now going,
Ring that bell, honey.
yeah, I attempted to do this. It didn't quite go my way. But yeah, they told me I acted bigger than I was. Steve Steele asked what the worst bump I ever took was. I didn't quite know how to fall off a suplex. That hurts like a motherfucker, by the way. Just throwing that out there. I don't care. There is no way that could not hurt.
Did you have a hard time getting your legs over your back as you were falling? back?
No, it wasn't really so much that. It was just I didn't quite expect that it was going. I didn't expect it was going to hurt as much as it did. Okay, I'm kind of a big pudding pants, and that's the reason I talk about sports and don't play them anymore.
I just love this. I just love this because when I was really into wrestling in high school, like we studied like all the power moves and how
No,
to
you
do
didn't.
them and how. Oh no, we did.
Let me rephrase that. You didn't study them the right way.
No,
because some
that's
of
what
those
I'm telling
things-
you. We had friends in the wrestling business that would teach us how to do the moves, how to fall, how to spread your, center of gravity, all that kind of stuff. So I just find it because I never went through the training. It was one point in my life thinking I was actually considering trying to do that.
Typhoon over
Could
here.
you imagine? Could you imagine? But I find it's funny that you went through the training or part of the training
Yeah, it took.
and got to find out firsthand.
Yeah, it took all of about 48 hours for me to go, holy God, this feels like a car wreck.
I love hearing that.
What's funny is
Because that's one of the reasons that we never went because we knew how hard it was going to hurt.
can I tell you, can I tell
Doing
you a
it
little
once,
secret?
doing it once is like a shock to the system because I've done it before, and there's no way I could do this day in and day out, night after night.
Can I tell you a little secret? The reason I didn't tell anybody was because I was super embarrassed that it hurt as bad as it did. Like those dudes that wind up addicted to painkillers. Yeah, I get it. I 100% get it.
Put your body through that kind of torture day in and day out.
It is god awful. Like the reason I can't watch it now is because I look at it and go, "Who would do that to themselves? This is horrid."
No, Steve Steele said, "What was the worst bump you ever took?" He didn't get to the bump stage. He did.
Oh no, I never had there was never a boo boo.
Right.
What ran me out of it was it going the way it was supposed to, and there was a thing in the back of my head going, "All right, this is how it's supposed to go. What happens when I pull the Enzo Amore and just decapitate myself on the bottom rope?"
Yeah.
Because I saw that coming.
Yeah.
And before anybody asks, no, I did not jump off a turnbuckle at any point. That was not my shtick.
He's not necessarily the air guy.
You don't really
Could you
realize.
imagine him trying to do like an Eddie Guerrero frog splash off the top rope?
First of all, I can jump way higher than you think.
Oh, I know. I'm sure you can.
I
You
am
can dunk a
mar-
basketball.
I am markedly more
Remember,
athletic
you
than you
just
think.
gotta dunk a basketball.
But
Oh yeah,
there's a
I am
reason
pulling
they-
the Tom Segura. As soon as I get down to my target weight, I'm going to dunk a basketball and prove that every comedian will not break themselves by dunking a basketball.
Who are the only guys that have ever made that look good?
What?
The big guys that have ever made an aerial game look good in professional
well,
wrestling.
according to them, I wasn't a big guy.
It
so.
was what?
Yeah.
Like Bam Bam Bigelow had like the little somersault thing that he would do in his earlier days, and then he couldn't do it anymore.
By the way, that terrifies
Vader.
me. I watch that now, and I see because Bam Bam Bigelow and I are about the same size.
Yeah.
I watch him do that, and I'm like, did you not see what happened to Brock Lesnar that one time?
Yeah.
Do you remember when he almost decapitated himself?
His neck,
Yeah.
Right.
You remember that time Brock Lesnar almost had to get somebody to wipe his poo hole? Because that almost happened. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. It is hard to watch.
Vader did everything possible to make himself look, he was a fantastically athletic, huge motherfucker. But, even when he would come off the top rope, it was like, I don't think you should be doing that.
I don't think you should do don't
That
do
didn't look good. The reason why the guys that use those are, 170 pounds.
Yes.
If that.
Yes.
I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm just saying they're
You
not
shouldn't.
going to ask you
Because
to.
you shouldn't.
Right. The old elbow off the top rope from a 7-foot guy doesn't really look great.
I will say, I have never felt smaller in my life. I am a 6'5", currently 272 pound man.
I just saw it too.
Yeah, I saw it.
Patrick! No. No, sir. It doesn't always work for a ninja. So
Oh God! Oh God!
I will say, I'm a 6'5", 270 pound man. I have never felt so small in my life. Mm-hmm. You think 6'10" is like really big until you encounter it, and you're like, oh, well, there is a whole damn mess of you.
Uh-huh.
I have to fall off him. I'm out.
Yep. And I'm
I'm
gonna
out.
sling you way up in air, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna hold you there, and then I'm gonna drop you.
Yeah, that
No
was the
thanks.
day I went, you know what? Maybe I'll talk about sports. I know how to speak good.
Yeah.
By the way, I will totally arrange for me to do that again.
To go through training
Yeah,
again?
I'll do it again.
Nice.
At 33, I have to get to a more sustainable weight than I'm at right now. But I will 100%, if I can get one of our camera guys to go with me, I will go back to it again.
Nice.
And I will be honest with you, I will take the next 4 weeks off because I will need it.
I know a guy, and I think he might be able to hook us up.
Are you thinking the same guy I'm thinking of?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think Adam would help us.
Oh, you're going even higher.
Oh, I'm going Adam
Oh,
Copeland.
you're going edge.
My buddy Adam Copeland, he knows some people.
Yeah.
And I think he might be able to help us out with that.
Oh, God, I'm going to regret I said that. I was thinking about someone else.
Oh,
You do realize we know a lot of pro wrestlers, right?
we do.
Why is that?
Because you're awesome.
Yeah, I guess.
We do know a lot of professional wrestlers. Oh, God, I forgot how good of friends you are with Edge.
I mean, I wouldn't say we hang out on the weekends or anything.
No, but you know how to get a hold of him, and he knows who you are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, shit.
That's something we could probably swing at some point.
God, why do I see this as a
He's gonna
path?
rock it this weekend at the Royal Rumble.
Why do I see this as a path ultimately that Edge's wife whips my ass? Because she could. Just straight up,
Think
she
of
could.
that.
She's beautiful, and she would whip my
Oh, yeah.
ass.
I think she's making a comeback too, isn't she? Didn't
I
see
believe
that?
so.
Didn't I see where she's?
I don't watch it. I see
Well,
headlines.
the Royal Rumble's this Sunday. So
Right.
They're
But
both, they're both in it.
Well, you followed a little bit. They are in it.
Edge is definitely in it Sunday.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure that Beth's in it.
The bet's in it. Okay. All right. Cool.
Oh, I have never, ever regretted saying something more than I have regretted saying what I just said.
Yeah, that is a great point, Patrick Holt. The reason we know a lot of wrestlers is because we live in North Carolina. I mean, it's like trying to find somebody in the state of North Carolina that doesn't know a race car driver.
Woo! Drink beer, turn left sometimes. We know several of those too, actually.
Right, exactly.
I didn't realize that.
Right.
Yeah. You know what? I will make a deal with you. I will let Edge spear me one time to get out of doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Really
I got
shouldn't
news
have
for you.
said that either.
No, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have. My ribs hate me for it, but yeah, I would let that happen.
Better have a flat jacket on, dude.
God, this is getting worse by the minute.
so excited.
Everything I say. Stop speaking!
I mean,
You're writing checks that your ass cannot cash.
your wife's all in on this idea.
I know. I don't know what I did to
I
her.
said I will be recording this. Yeah.
You know, you would think the woman that loves me would not be sitting here going, I would like to see my husband cut into 14 pieces. Because that's how this will go. I'll still do it. I don't care.
So many great videos of summer.
If Darren Ravel can cover himself like a fucking buffalo wing, I can get hit a few
Did he
times.
really?
Yeah. He covered himself in 10 gallons of Frank's Red Hot and a gallon of blue cheese.
What a waste.
He also didn't put earplugs in his ears, which is a horrible idea.
Terrible move. Terrible move.
Yeah.
If one's gonna
Wait.
do that, they need to have
Wait.
earplugs.
Wait. So he got like hot sauce in his ears?
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
What
I mean,
an idiot.
I mean, maybe I lived under the Rafi rules, but protect your holes. No, it's all.
In the league.
Yeah, I just referenced the
so
league.
great.
Yeah, that's.
Awesome.
I want a shirt that says that. Can we get somebody on that, please, with a Sportsocracy logo?
Yep. Protect your holes.
PYH. If you know, you know. It's kind of like April 18th. If you know, you know. If somebody in the comments knows what April 18th is, just comment it and I'll send you something. I still owe. Who was it? I owed something from last week.
Yo,
Was it Alex Sainer?
Yes.
Okay.
believe
Alex,
so.
I have not forgotten about you.
Yeah, you did.
I have to go. No, I didn't. I didn't. I just don't go by a post office ever, and I don't know where UPS is. UPS asks me questions that I don't know the answers.
Yeah. Yeah. Bo says there's nothing like love than, yeah, kick his ass.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Oh, but speaking of that, we've been asked two questions that since we went down this tangent of Jeremy's 3-day pro wrestling career.
Okay.
I have been asked two questions that we need to answer. First of all, is who's going to fill in for me? We have answered one of those days. Potentially both. I don't know the answer to that. We've answered one of those. We are still accepting if you have something you think can impress me or him or anybody of us affiliated.
No
with us.
dick pics. That's not going to
Don't
impress
press that.
anybody. Yeah, send your essays in, your pictorials, whatever you want to send in. And we will have some guest spots on the Thursday and Friday shows this week on the ESPN Asheville side. Caleb Peak's going to be joining me in studio on ESPN Asheville on Thursday, and then Friday we will have the sports crew from News 13 coming in. That's going to be a lot of fun. Chris Womack and Maria Santora are going to come in and co-host with us 3 to 5 while Jeremy is gone.
Can I state for the record that will be the first intelligible sports conversation that's ever been had on that show?
I'm going to do my best to make sure it doesn't go down that path, but you may be right about that.
That will be the first time that intelligible sports conversation has ever happened on that show.
Right.
1 year and 2 days after it started. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alexander won the Brett Favre thing when I called it the dick pic day.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just saw the April 18th thing. Is it Paul Revere?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm sure that's true too,
wrong.
but that's not why I said it. There are a series of T-shirts that just say April 18th, and if you see somebody wearing one and you're wearing one, then if you know, you know. If you ever see a girl wearing one, wah wah wee wah. In the immortal words of the man who wrote this joke.
Now I don't want to know, I don't think.
Correct. You don't at all.
We went down that path this morning, didn't we?
Yeah. I feel like somebody right now is Googling April 18th going, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yes.
You won't find it out. Google will not tell you, but if you know, you know.
Uh-huh.
Indeed. Oh, the other thing. Sorry, I keep going down rabbit
Patrick
holes.
Holt says, don't get your hopes up. I still haven't gotten my comment of the week prize.
Oh, yeah, that was on Devin, I think. That was like when Devin went back to actually his real job. Yes. Shit, I have to go to the post office today.
Yeah.
You two message me and don't let me forget things. I am going on vacation in 2 days, and I do a lot of stuff. I do forget pretty easily.
We will definitely get you hooked up.
Yes.
Don't worry. Tony Elliott.
Hold on, I wasn't done.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we will have new merchandise when I get back from the beach.
New merchandise.
New merch. Yeah, I've been designing it for a while. We will have, and some of it is
Aha.
epically funny.
Yes.
If you've watched this show for a long time, some of it is really funny.
We all look forward to that, Mr. Communication.
Hey, look, I try to be very transparent with our audience. I want them to see things as, like soon as you do. I don't want you to get
I like surprises.
Hey,
I like
guess what?
surprises.
This partnership has lasted a whole year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Surprises are good.
Right. I mean, you have to keep those little surprises.
There
Keep
it is,
keep
Patrick
the
Holt
flame
got
in the
it.
relationship.
Patrick Holt got it.
Oh, that ain't
And it doesn't tell us anything. Thanks.
If you know, you know. It
So-
pisses him off that he can't Google it, and I've already told him that.
Yep. Tony Elliott could be the next head coach of the UT Vols. It would be the best thing that they could do. I honestly believe that is the path forward for the Tennessee Volunteers. Now, the question is, does it make sense for Tony Elliott?
No. I would say no. I don't understand why you would take this job. You've been offered offensive coordinator jobs in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would want this job. Now, I will say Danny White he does steer the ship. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, of all the jobs you've been offered, why would you take this one?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to a job that's very difficult in the first place, in a conference that's borderline impossible for you to win. I mean, what's the best case scenario? Let's say Tony Elliott takes his job 3 years from now. We're looking back on it going, this went really well for Tony Elliott. What would that consist of?
A 10-win team.
Is there any shot of that happening?
Probably not.
I would say no.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a snowball's chance in Atlanta
Mm-hmm.
that it could happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best you can hope for is an 8-5-ish bowl win in like the Music City Bowl. That's the high water mark for Tennessee right now. And I just look at it and go, why would you want to do that? You're also coming in late to recruiting. Now, granted, this is a guy that has enough of a Tony Elliott probably has enough of a name that he could keep a lot of this recruiting class in place.
Mm-hmm.
I was with Dabo. I've got rings. Helped recruit Trevor Lawrence. That might be enough to keep the recruiting class together. So, I fully understand it from the Tennessee point of view.
Right.
What I don't understand is if you're Tony Elliott, why would you want to do this?
I don't know. I've been trying to rack my brain around that other than, this is a big job. This is going to make headlines. If it's a success, you'll be a legend. If you don't win 10 games within the first 3 years, they're going to kick you out of town. And it's going to be a black mark on your record. Am I wrong? If you look 3 years down the road and Tony Elliott's got this team as a 7 to 8 win team, they're going to make this change again. The Tennessee fans will not have. There are Tennessee fans right now that when the news came out yesterday were on Twitter replying to all of the reports of why? No, I don't want this. You think you're too good for Tony Elliott?
Right, for real.
Like, you realize this is the best you could possibly hope for at Tennessee. I don't think Jamie Chadwell coming in is going to give you the boost you really want, because that's one of the names that's been thrown out by detractors on this.
I like Jamie Chadwell a lot.
This is a deal that I would let Jamie Chadwell make. This is
What do you mean?
Like, I would let him have it. If I'm Tony Elliott, I'll sit back and wait for a better job, and I'll let Jamie Chadwell take this, because I think he's got a higher career trajectory as it sits right now than Jamie Chadwell does.
I would agree with that.
He's got bigger jobs coming.
But I think this is a job that both of them could do. I just think you have to get into a position where you understand what you are. Mm-hmm. And for the longest time now, I have not thought that Tennessee really understands what they are. You're the 5th best team in the SEC at best. That's me being probably very generous. Mm-hmm. Because you're definitively behind Florida. You're definitively behind LSU. You're behind Alabama, and you're behind Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Texas A&M, too.
Texas
A&M has more money than God, so it's really hard for me to say you're better than them.
But the success is there.
Yeah.
There's more success there. They've got a better coach. They've got you've got a system in place.
But even in your division, you're the 3rd best team in your division in any given year. Mm-hmm. You need both of them to have off years to win your division.
Right.
Because they recruit talent that you just don't.
Mm-hmm. And maybe this gets them to a spot where they can get better talent with a guy like Tony Elliott. He's a guy that guys will commit to play for. He's part of the solution at Clemson, and there's not a person that I've seen that's had a bad thing to say about him as a coach. Everybody believes that he is on the star path right now. If he doesn't leave Clemson, he could hang out in that OC job. They'll make he's probably the highest paid OC in football already, mm-hmm. and he can keep that job for 4 or 5 more years and take over for Dabo when he's done. Or like you said, he's been offered head coach or offensive coordinator jobs in the NFL. Hell, they were talking about hiring him as a head coach. Mm-hmm. This go around. There were a lot of people that believed Tony Elliott was in play for one of these teams that needs a head coach in the NFL. Why would he take the step to go to UT to try to build a program when his career trajectory takes him past that in the next 3 years if he doesn't take this job?
I would agree. Why would he take this job? Prove he can do it.
Mm-hmm. And that's the one thing.
I don't think Tony Elliott wants a pro job.
But it's got to be a big risk.
I don't know Tony Elliott personally. I know people that do know him. One of my best friends knows him quite well, and I don't think he wants a pro job. Mm-hmm. And not at this point. I think he likes college. I think he likes recruiting. He likes it at Clemson. He's going to have to find something that really lights his fire for him to leave. Mm-hmm. He also, this one I've not been directly told, but I have a belief that he thinks Dabo will leave for the Bama job and he would be the logical choice to take over for him.
Yes.
And I think that's his best case scenario.
Mm-hmm. I think Tennessee, while this is the best guy that they can get, if they're looking for a long-term thing, a guy that's going to be there forever, I don't think this is your guy. because I could very well see that path where he comes, takes the Tennessee job, makes them relevant, looks good in the SEC. They're not winning division championships, but they're getting 9-win seasons and bowl appearances over the next 5-6 years. And then he's going to jump ship when Dabo goes to Alabama, and he'll come back to Clemson. Is that what Tennessee wants to step up for? Do they want to see somebody that can just get them back to relevance?
It's
and
the
then
only way they're going to hire
them?
a coach of this level. Honestly. I mean, this is the only way you're going to hire a coach of this level is knowing full well that you're a springboard job, because it's what you are. Tennessee does not spend the money that Alabama does. They don't spend the money that Florida does. They don't spend the money that Georgia does.
And that's the thing.
They don't have the money to spend that those schools do.
Right, but the fan base doesn't believe that. The fan base does not believe that they are third best team in the SEC East, fifth best team in the SEC, or sixth, seventh best team in the SEC overall.
They better get really comfortable with it because it be.
Well, that's where they've been, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for the guy to take them to the next level. They're looking for the guy that's going to bring them back to relevance in the heydays of Phil Fulmer and when we were, only losing 1 and 2 games a year, and we were in the discussion year in and year out. That's what they want. That's what they're after. I don't think you're going to get a long-term solution out of Tony Elliott. I think chances are you're going to get a better long-term solution with Jamie Chadwell. Bring him in, and that, he gets. I think he would get a little bit more leash as a less experienced coach taking over the UT program to get a little bit more time to grow with the program, and then that could be a long-term fit.
I would agree with that.
I just don't see that with Tony Elliott. So I can see the drawbacks, but right now, bare bones, I think this is the best you could hope for. And it kind of baffles me that Tennessee fans are so quick to go, no.
No, not. It's because it's Tennessee. They still think they're going to hire John Gruden or Bill Cowher.
But Tony Elliott is a guy who, his career path will take him past Tennessee before any contract he can sign with this team.
I would agree with that.
Or before that contract is up, that he would sign with Tennessee. So I don't think it would be the best move for him. Don't take a job just to do it. Take a job that you can commit to. Take a job that you're going to be in for a while or that can get you to the next step. And that's what Tennessee is now.
Yep.
And the fan base doesn't believe it, which
It's comical.
It's very shocking.
Yeah.
Very shocking to me. All right, anything else before we sign off?
Get in your submissions to potentially fill my chair. We've got the radio side figured out. We've got one of the days here. Potentially both. We do have a winner. We do have a leader in the clubhouse for both days. So you'll have to bring something pretty strong. Mm-hmm. We will be announcing who those people are tomorrow on this show, and that will be my last day. Then you won't see me for 4 whole days. Maybe 5. Might be 5. Depends on how much I drink on Sunday.
So we need to have a backup plan for Monday.
I already have a backup plan for Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did that unilaterally.
It's nice.
Because that has to be somebody that was on absolute standby, sitting at their door with their keys in their hands at 7:45 on Monday morning. Because I will not know that. I love to travel. I really do. I hate driving. Mm-hmm. I would fly from here to Charlotte and do it in a heartbeat. I loathe driving in a car. So the many hour drive back that I have to withstand because we didn't plan ahead enough to fly. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel after that.
To fly.
I like
you act like it's a forever drive. It's only like 5 hours.
No, it's 6 hours.
Is it 6?
It's 6.
Okay. Well,
It's
the way
6,
you
and that's a quarter of the
drive that
day,
makes
and,
sense. Yeah.
and I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like driving cars. When I become, when I have fuck you money, the first thing I'm gonna do is hire a driver.
Yeah.
I think that's best for all of us, really. Because you're going to get because hell, he can't even make the trip from his house to the studio in the mornings without just getting like irate at everyone that he's.
Well, literally, there was a car wreck directly in front of me this morning. And the beauty of it was the guy was turning and then just stopped turning and drove right into the truck that was sitting there. Like I said, it's been 2 damn hours ago and I'm still sitting here like, how the hell did you just do that?
Forgot to turn.
Like, did you just stop that because you started? Mm-hmm. Did you just go, nope.
Yep.
That's the most I could be implored to do.
Yep.
And thunk.
It's the only explanation you have at that point. I forgot to turn the wheel.
I just thought I didn't want to turn anymore.
I don't know.
I didn't want to turn anymore, and then he just drove in here.
Yeah.
Just drove in here. They just drove.
Just drove away from the
they
scene of the
just-
crime. Nice.
Well, the guy that he hit got out of the car and went, I think we're good. What? But no!
Friendly old neighborhood of Woodfin. Yay. Where you can get my car, I don't give a that's a piece of shit anyway.
It's just a little dent.
I'm actually at that point with my car.
Tank, if somebody hit your
it's
car,
not
you
worth
should get
filing
out
the
and thank
paperwork.
them.
It's not worth filing the paperwork on that. Let's just go.
If somebody hit your car, it might turn into dust like Thanos snapped. Just- and then the wind blows and it flows away.
No, the one thing I will give Dodge, they make pretty good sturdy bricks. I don't think that thing's going away anytime soon. It's going to do more damage to your car than it will to mine. I promise you. I've seen it happen. That thing crumples sedans like tin cans.
The rambling wreck of Georgia Tech over here.
That's right. You better watch out when I'm coming on the road. Mo bitch, get out the way. We'll be with you this afternoon on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM at 1400. Of course, you can hear us everywhere. Take us with you everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, the Sports Tank with Jeremy Green, 3 to 5 every weekday afternoon. We'll be live here from the Wicked Weed studio tomorrow morning on the 1-year anniversary of our little venture here. It's been a crazy year. We're glad that so many of you have been involved in this process, and we cannot wait to see where it goes from here. Be sure to like, share, and follow the Sportsocracy on all of the social medias. We are conveniently handled at the Sportsocracy. Live for the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Green.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.